Okay, so what is going on with constitutional carry in Texas? So just a little bit ago, constitutional carry or permitless carry was passed in the Texas House. Now that was passed by a margin of 87 to 58. There was one Republican, Morgan Meyer of Dallas, who voted against, and 7 Democrats, Canales, Dutton, Guillen, King, Morales, Pacheco, and Pena Raymond, who all voted for it. But 87 to 58, that is pretty overwhelmingly for it. And having 7 Democrats break away from their party and go for it, and only one Republican going against, that kind of shows there in the House that there really was a lot of support for this. So you'd think that this would be a pretty simple matter once it starts going to the Texas Senate. But things are getting a little bit more complicated there in the Senate. Now the publication, The Texan, which I'll put a link to this in the description, they contacted all 30 of the Texas state senators to see where they all stand on this. Part of the reason is that Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, very much like the United States Vice President, has a role of presiding over the Senate. Now the Lieutenant Governor has said that the votes aren't there for it and that he isn't going to bring it up to a vote because of that. Well, the Texan went ahead and polled all 30 of the state senators to see where they all stand on it and to see, exactly how accurate the Lieutenant Governor's statements are on this. And so I looked over their list here and got it all written down nice and brilliant here on this scribbledy piece of paper. And the answers they could give were yes, no, or it's complicated. Now, unfortunately, a majority of the Texas Senate did not give a response to this. We have 18 of the 30 did not give a response. 18 being an interesting number because that's how many we need to actually vote in favor of it to get it to be able to be voted on and passed. Of those 18 that did not answer, we have 7 Republicans and 11 Democrats. As far as ones that straight up told, they didn't vote, but they straight up told the Texan no, we have 2 Democrats that said straight up no and 0 Republicans that have said no. As far as the ones that said yes, we have 0 Democrats that said yes, and we have 10 Republicans that said yes. Now 3 of those Republicans were technically listed under statement, but the statement that they gave was just a wordy reason to be in favor of it. So I'm putting those 3 with the other 7 to go ahead and get us to 10. And that leaves us one last one who said, who gave a statement, and this is the one I'm listing that is complicated. This is a Republican, Betancourt. Senator Betancourt supports giving Lieutenant Governor Patrick time to have meetings with all stakeholders of parties next week. I don't know what that means. I'm not going to say that that's a yes. That's very much a punt is what that sounds like. So we don't know. So we got 18, I'm going to say 19 that we don't know. Now there was previously a bill that was brought forward to extend unlicensed carry, basically in the case of time of an emergency evacuation or some other type of emergency, that you could carry permitlessly there. The idea being that during an emergency like that, law enforcement is not necessarily going to be available. There were 3 Republicans that were against that. Those were Huffman, Nichols, and Seliger. Interestingly, Huffman, Nichols, and Seliger are 3 of the 7 Republicans that did not give a response to this. So that is interesting that we don't know exactly what's going on with those. Lieutenant Governor Abbott has listed Seliger as the one that is mostly against this and the one that's kind of the ringleader, so to say, of the Republican opposition on this. Now, looking back on this, there seems to be a lot of bad blood between Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick and Senator Kel Seliger, going back a ways. There's a lot going on there, and I don't know. I think Patrick probably comes out looking a little worse on that, but I don't really know. But these 2 guys, despite being in the same party, do not like each other. And I'm seeing, and I haven't found an official statement from Seliger on this to be able to confirm that, but from what I have seen with people talking with his peeps, there's some word that Seliger may not actually be quite as against this as he, Lieutenant Governor has made it seem. That the Lieutenant Governor has very much kind of in the past been on the record against constitutional carry, and they're saying that he's just trying to scapegoat Seliger since he doesn't like him, that he's a convenient person to throw that onto. I don't really know. The Lieutenant Governor has said he is not going to bring this forward if the votes aren't there for it. If the votes actually aren't there or not is something that we cannot actually ascertain for ourselves. As we can see here from what the Texan said, we have 18 who flat up are just not going to answer, and a 19th that is going to give a vague non-answer. So what can we do about it? Well, there's 2 things that can be done. One is to contact the Lieutenant Governor yourself. There's places online to do that. You can also contact your state senator to make sure that they are going to vote for this, and to also try to get some of the others, the other senators, as well as the Lieutenant Governor, in line on this thing. Part of what I messaged the Lieutenant Governor is that I want to see this go to a vote, even if the votes aren't there, just to get it out publicly. I suspect that may be the very reason that he doesn't want to bring it on there, because there are some who don't want to be called out on it, and I think he's trying to not call others out on it and not make them have to have a public statement on it, which is what I want to see. I want to see exactly who's for this and who isn't. My state senator actually is among the yeses on it, so that's good. At least I know where they're at on this. But rest of you could contact yours, particularly if you're in Seliger's district. He would be a good one to definitely contact. So anyway, get a hold of your senator and lieutenant governor and let them know. If you found this video useful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and a like. You can go down into the comment section and leave any thoughts you have down there. And if you're interested, you can also subscribe to my channel and click the little bell notification to make sure that you catch all the videos that I post so you don't miss anything. I'm Jeremy with Poindexter G, and we'll see you next time.